Hi everyone and welcome along to Sonic Academy with me, Chris, and sat beside me is Phil.
Hello everybody, how are you doing today?
I'm sure they're all good.
Good.
This is a tech tip. Phil, we've been having a lot of people on the discuss on our forums about the Shizzle in the Steve Ward course.
Yes, and also one of our other students did a sort of technical track and was having difficulties with bottom ends. So we're just going to cover the sort of low shizzle type thing, and then some other sort of just really hard to get interesting techno bottom endy type stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and that kind of thing. So
Cool.
yeah, so this is the low shizzle sample in case you haven't watched the Steve Ward tutorial. Just sort of a low tommy percussion thing, and it's quite easy to sort of get some interesting results pretty quickly. So
It says darkness to me. It's real,
yeah,
yeah, evil.
that is the lighter side. I'm going to go do that type of thing, and then I'm going to go a bit darker as well. So I'm looking for instruments.
Even darker.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's all based around toms, and this is really something that would it doesn't necessarily need to be like a tuned sound, but sometimes it can be. So it can be actually your bass, or sometimes it can just be a sort of rattle in, a percussion-y rattle in behind. So
Okay.
it'll work for both techniques, and you maybe I'll layer a bass on top of a couple maybe as well. Drum racks. Go into Ultimate Drums. If you don't have it, go buy it. It's awesome. And we've got toms here. This is the main room house pack, and there's a bunch of toms exactly for this type of thing. So I'm just going to throw this one in.
And what are you listening for, Phil? What's
Just there's quite a lot of those toms could be used. So I'm just picking a random one, and then we can do some hot swapping after and see how different toms sound.
Cool.
So here's a nice techno arrangement. You are, if it was like that, everything would be on the offbeat, which is a bit boring.
bouncy?
So there's sort of standardy sort of
Prog.
yeah. So you can take one out if you want, or keep it in. So there's loads of different sort of rhythmical variations. You could move everything along to here. Set it up. Why doesn't work? Yeah, so you could do. It's another sort of pretty standard one. It's all just sort of groove in the background, but we're going to use that as just a fundamental part, and then we're going to do various things to make it more interesting.
Right.
So we'll go in. Cool plugin for this type of thing, not plugin, sorry, just an effect, is grain delay. So
what does it do?
grain delay is just a delay, but it has interesting sort of things it does to the tail of the
delays.
Yeah. So we can do pitch. And we'll put in a bit of the dry signal as well.
So you're starting to build up the rhythmical elements as
Yeah.
being there. You're starting to affect that.
And so even that in itself sounds pretty cool. So what you can do, if you're just wanting to build up a library of your own shizzles, just create an audio track, resample. And there you go, there's one done. So another cool thing you can do is some reverb. But you don't want to just sort of wash everything in reverb. So we're going to do some compression to get some pumping and just make it a bit more interesting.
What sort of style? Is it a room, a chamber, plate?
I'll just get rid of all this because this is already there. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Preferably, probably a plate.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking about it, sort of works better on drums. But for this, we're just going to use Ableton's basic reverb to show you. You're not trying to create a space. You're trying to create just atmospheric sounds and stuff, So, So let's send to the reverb. Got some nice reverb there. make this fully wet, and then we can do various things to this. You know, we're just trying to create something interesting that's going to sort of groove along with our track, keep the darkness.
So it's very much fire things in and try and see.
Yeah, it's just about
trying
to create something interesting for your
smearing those sort of things and starting to melt them into one groovy sort of shizzle.
Exactly. So we can do stuff like we could put another compressor on. So this the first compressor is just to really get the levels up, so everything's sort of sounding quite in your face. And then this second one we'll use for some side chaining. So we could either side chain the kick. So you're getting a sort of
reverse.
You might even, if you just want it a bit darker, you can put a... And again, you know, you've instantly got a loop.
Resample, and then re-effect, reprocess.
Resample, yeah. So we're just building up this wee library of samples here. So we can go into our sidechain and maybe do it with our actual drum rack. So that's now using the sidechain from the tom. So we're getting that nice sucking sort of effect. And again, we'll... So if you've got something you sort of like, maybe like that, let's see what it sounds like. Okay. You know, you're getting some nice techno-y elements there. You can go into your drum racks and you could maybe try different things just to dirty it up.
And that in turn is affecting the send.
Yeah.
Sort of coming out of the sends. That's really nice, isn't it?
It's another nice sort of... what could we do with that? Let's... a bit of overdrive maybe just after this. And then you could go and maybe do something with the reverb. So stuff happening there. You could put some phaser. Put the LFO on. Try that. I'll not record that. We'll maybe get a bit more. Turn that overdrive off. Sounds like a kick.
Cool. Yeah.
Again, just another loop.
And then you could hop swap as well, could you?
Yep. So. Take off the phaser. Keep that on. I'll switch that back just to the kick. So you can do other stuff. We could put beat repeat on. Just to create a bit more sort of.
And this is on our FX channel, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to maybe create interesting rhythms there. That's
yeah. So we need to keep the kick going and just mute it, just to get the sidechain still.
Yep.
So there we as that. And then, yeah, as you say, we can go in to our drum racks and hot swap through some of these sounds. Change our rhythms. A bit darker, maybe. And don't forget, you can also put LFOs on your filters and create interesting sounds.
Yeah.
So.
It's very dark techno there, isn't it?
Create another. So there goes a bunch of low shizzles, and obviously you've got you've got all these samples here now, so you could if you made all that stuff, from pretty just nice
Yeah.
percussion-y,
Getting darker.
getting darker. But you can you could have like so.
Chops of those.
Put different effects on these after the event. So if you just want that sort of. If you don't want it just so dark.
Yeah. So dark. The low end sort of says dark, doesn't it? It says,
Yeah. And then you can do. If you want to take it into a less dark area. Low shizzle.
Low shizzle. There you go, guys. From a simple sort of tom, putting it through a bunch of effects. Be creative with the effects.
Yeah,
that you,
I think the real key here is sample everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Experiment, sample, experiment, sample, experiment, sample, and then when you've got 50 things,
go back,
yeah,
reprocess, and
throw them in
redo.
your tracks.
And also keep a library. Start building libraries of these things because it's always really handy to have go-to unique sounds that you have. It's
Yeah,
make
you always come up with a bit of magic
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
And look out for happy accidents when you're dropping something in. It doesn't really work well. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you got something
catch
from
you
it.
later.